Hi everybody, Gerone Wright here again. Um, as everybody already knows, every time you see a Renaissance artist painting or painting up, that I will be explaining um, my discovery that I found that many artists of our world today, more popular with the Renaissance artists, was using their artistic talents to actually reference genetic becoming of mankind and continue genetic bridging and manipulation of our genetics. In short, all of these artists had some knowledge. Their schools, their associates or affiliates had some knowledge. Their mentors, um, their proteges, all had some knowledge as to how mankind was created and his genetic becoming. And these references were actually encrypted in their artworks. You know, it's my position that genetic manipulation and genetic altering on such a scale requires a massive and enormous record because it's actually global. And it's also my position that these records are in the Renaissance artist paintings. Um, how you kept so many people secret for so long, I have no idea. But the fact of the matter is that I guess they're sworn to secrecy or whatever. Maybe their families are threatened. I don't know what's going on, but for whatever the reason, it was all kept quiet. But it's in their paintings. Okay. Um, um, I found that ancient genetics, which are that of ape, can always be found in these images. There's a witch-like woman whom I dub as a mother of creation. She appears alongside of the ape, almost in a sense of like Adam and Eve. And then there's always the reference of a black person or a black man. Um, and the genetic bridging stems from all of that. Okay, so having said that, let me take you to this image. This here image is a depiction. It's a 1509 image by Michealangelo, and it's in the Sistine Chapel, and it's the sacrifice of Noah. Okay, the sacrifice of Noah. All right. So I'm gonna show you something here. I'm gonna give this to you in and well, first I'm gonna take you through. I'm gonna show you what's going on here. First, I want to call your attention. Like I said, there's always a reference to a black person being made. This person up here depicts that of a black person. Okay, and oddly enough, the body of it is created to be that of man and woman, and the body of a man and the face of a woman, which represents both. Okay, these genetic bridges. So you have a black person here, showing you how this black person was genetically bridged on this side, and these genetics sent over to this side, to where now the blackness is taken out, and then we have two white people over here, our Caucasian counterparts. I don't like the term black and white and all that. You know what I mean? I'm black, but I mean for some reason and all, this leaves a bad taste in my mouth. But you know what I mean? I don't like the thing of being black and white there. All right, so here we go here. Over here, you see where there's a genetic bridge. That's what this is. This is showing you. Think of this as an artery. It's showing you these genetics were altered on that side and then sent to this side. There's the artery. And this is what we have over here, where these genetics were altered. And then this is what was the ending result. And it shows us not just how our white counterparts were created from that of the originating ancestral genetics of Africans. Okay, but it also shows you that not just the outside the skin, but it shows you a genetic change on the inside. So it wasn't just about the color of the skin, people. It was about the genetic change that were these people had evolved through all of this genetic manipulation to over here to becoming these people. Now, it's a genetic manipulation process. Now, I'm going to tell you something because I want to hammer this as home as well too. Now, you know, before there was white, there was black. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I mean, science has proven this, and if you think about it, it logically makes sense as well too. If we evolved from black Africa, the ape, dark skin, before we became, well, before there was white in other civilizations, there was only these people. I mean, much darker, of course, because you evolved from the ape. I mean, I'm brown skinned, but you're talking about actually black people from that of ape. You know what I mean? In the color of that and the likeness of ape, meaning when I say black, we're talking about black. You know what I mean? Like that color there, black, jet black. So, how would other cultures, ethnic groups, and skin tones come into play? They use animals, and over here, I don't know if you can see, there's a group of animals right here. You have horses, oxes, I can't really see. You got sheep. You got everything else. There's references being made there, and these Renaissance artists was showing you that there was a genetic bridge and it would change. But I'm going to give this to you in layman's terms right quick before I take you through there. But before there was all these other ethnic racial groups or civilizations, different civilizations, there was only black people, Africans, apes, ape peoples. From the beginning, that's my position from the beginning, in my findings and my discoveries, that our black ancestors instinctively knew how to evolve from this likeness, black likeness, to this likeness. So it's my position that, you never heard that before, that the original black man, the beginning of black man, that not what is in Africa today, but before that, a long, long time ago, that these beings knew how to genetically alter themselves, and they created all of the other likenesses that are globally today. So, let me run this by you again. There was ape. Ape knew how to genetically alter themselves instinctively into that of the likeness of black man. Black man, Africans, instinctively knew how to alter themselves into the likenesses of others, which ultimately came to that of white man. So, Chinese, Japanese, I don't care if you're Cambodian, Ethiopian, I don't care what your Egyptian people, you were created through a process that instinctively was already in us. And it began with that of black man. All man evolved from that of the black man, the ape, the whole nine. I know where ape came from. There's even reptilian apes, okay? There was a reptilian ape as well too. And I know where they all came from, where they evolved from. Now that I got that out of the way. So, when you look at our white counterparts, you can actually see, when you look at our white counterparts now, people understand that they were created by an ancient civilization that was before that of the Africans. Now, the only problem with that is that the records of all of that were either destroyed, suppressed, or wiped away off the globe. And this is why you have so many gaps in our ancient history, because these are facts that they do not want you to know. But yet, it's referenced in the artwork. Isn't that amazing? Isn't that truly amazing? You don't have this history, but it's referenced here. Let me show you what I'm talking about. I'm gonna break it down for you with a larger image. But let me show you what's happening here in Michelangelo's Chapel ceiling painting. Over here you have a group of animals. Right there. Alright? And here Noah's at the center with the fire on top of the building block. Wherever you see the stone at the stone represents the sacrificial block, represents the building block of life. A black man, the genetics it calls for man. These are the rooting genetics. This is the building block of life. So cleverly, there's a fire on top, and then they have a fire inside this block. You see that individual with his face down inside of there, and I'll tell you about that a little later on as well too. Okay, now you have these animals. It shows these animals. Check this out. Now you have remind you that I said that this is a genetic bridge. So think of this as a bridge that these genetics came through. So how would these genetics from these individuals get to this side? Well, it's showing you animals right there. Then here's the building block right here of life. All of this stuff ran back into the building block of life. So how would they do that? They ran it back through where they came from, blacks, genetically bridging that of Africans. Then showing you then what happened. All of these genetics, think of this as the cauldron. You see the fire down inside of there, and then the fire on top. Think of this as the melting pot, the cauldron. Remember I told you about the cauldron in some of my other videos, the witch's kettle, where there's this gula made, this chemistry of all of these genetics cooked together. And then look, it shows you the building block taken out. You see that? And taken to this side. Look at that, people. Look how easy I explain that. This is what all of these genetics melted down into the melting pot. Look, in the middle there's a fire in there. I'm going to bring up a larger image. There's a fire in there, and there's a fire on top, letting you know that there's a cooking chemistry being done. You see what I'm saying? The cauldron is related to witchcraft, and if you Google the definition of that, a chemistry. Think of this not of chemistry of food or chemistry of chemistry of magic, but a chemistry of genetics, all together. And then look, the building block taken out, showing you all these genetic strands. Shows you a bundle taken out right there. Now I'm gonna bring up a larger image. Amazing how you can, when you know the truth behind something, people see how easy that is actually explained. Look at that. Genetics, a bridge. This is what Michelangelo is telling you in this Sistine Chapel painting. Shows you it has a black person involved. Try to make the black person look white, but gave it a black face, and then made it look like a female. Gave it a male's body with a female's head, letting you know that female and male genetics were bridged, taken from one side, sent to the other, and then you have the likenesses of two whites, letting you know that they were genetically altered. And the black genetics weakened, bridged, and white genetics enhanced and more superior. And that's what's going on today. Now, ironically, you should think about this, because what I like to think about, if this is going on, if this is in Rome at the Sistine Chapel, if this is going on in paintings, then what in the hell do you think is going on during communion when they talk about giving you a piece of bread and talking about the body of Jesus and then some wine? I mean, people, you have to wonder if these genetics are, I mean, do you think that the capability, I do, that they could possibly be giving you something? Well, not now, because now my videos being released and the red flags are being raised. I mean, all of this stuff is going to stop now. You know what I mean? They have to come up with something that is more cunning than what they've been doing all along. But I mean, you have thousands and thousands of people that are going to these communion services, taking in something that they don't even know what the hell is going on, don't know nothing about, and possibly being genetically altered. And I'm saying that that possibility is 99.9%. Probably the probability of it being so is accurate. You see what I'm saying? So if I'm showing you this, then what in the world is you getting in your mouth? They're going through the trouble putting it in your mouth and having you drink. People, this is, if you don't get this, then you don't get nothing at all. You need to go take your ass to the Vatican and go and get some more communion. Or continue getting genetically altered. If you can't read into this, I'm showing you a group of animals here. I'm showing you a black person up here, telling you that there was genetic bridging here. Okay, then I'm telling you that this creates a genetic strand, a bridge, showing to you in this smaller form here these genetics, and they were bridged to this side, letting you know that there was a genetic altering, and it's showing you how it was done in this picture right here. And then this is the ending result. If you can't read that, or can't understand, I've taken a 15th century, 1509 painting in the fresco ceiling of the Vatican and explained it to you in layman's terms so you can understand it. A picture you would not otherwise, and this is called the sacrifice of Noah. You would not even otherwise even know what this even represents or understand. And I've broken it down to you, the whole painting. And I'm going to let me bring up this other image and all. I wasn't born in no 1509 because I'd be one old joker. But I wasn't born then. But yet I can read these images to you. You know why? Through my paranormal experience and encounter. I can go back even further than this. I'm going to lower this back, so I'm going to have to let this go back some. I still got time here. Oh, it's got 17 minutes. I'm gonna leave it up large like that because I'm gonna pan over, I guess. And now I'm gonna show you something. Before I go back. Okay. You got an ox, you got a horse, and what else we got up there? Ox, a horse. I know we got the sheep down here. And there's other creatures up in it. There's another horse up there as well too. Notice how this horse is looking dead. This horse here looking dead because it lets you know the genetic bridging and what happened with this horse's genetics was killed. This image is also in a painting of Constantine. The same exact thing, and it shows you the genetics. I have a video here on that, so you have to see another video. That's another thing that's unique about these images, is that artists borrow encryption styles from a previous artist that was before them, and they utilize their encryptions in their artworks, which actually allows for you to attach one painting or link one painting to the next painting. All right, now this is what I want to show you. I want to show you something first. I want to call your attention. First of all, these individuals naked up in here. On this one, on a slaughtered lamb. This one here on a ram. Okay. Now, people, this man is naked with his. I looked at this image about 100 times before it dawned on me just today that this man is naked, and he has his penis out. And the lamb's head, mouth is out, and tongue is out of his mouth at the man's penis. And I'm surprised I didn't even see that at first. You know what I mean? I'm saying to myself, people are in church seeing this and don't see this. This is how religion has blinded you in such a way that you do not even see this. There's a ram with his tongue out at this guy's penis. What symbolic message is trying to be related to by that? I can tell you. It's telling you that there was a genetic bridging where this man's genetics was ran back into this creature, and it shows you genetic bridging, just like I said, that resulted in the genetic bridging of blacks, which were Africans. Animal genetics ran through on a higher level, and it's showing you how these genetics were broken down and taken out. by the use of genetic bridging with that of utilization of animals. They're telling you. Now, remember all of these animals up here? There's a couple horses, there's an ox, and remember when I had told you about this? If I didn't know any better, I'd say that was an encrypted head back here of a rhino. I'm gonna have to look closer at that. And that represents an ancient genetic back there. But anyway, all these genetics, when you see these animals, people, the ox and all of that, that's another thing too. These animals are a representation of everything ancient, meaning that their ancestors, their genetics are in them, and that's what these ancient genetics are with them, with these animals. Okay, this genetic bridging. You can't just look at the ox for what it is. You have to look at the ancestor of the ox and bring that into play, and that's what this is all about. Beginning genetics, okay, and the breakdown of that. Not just of black man, but of these creatures as well too. Now, what happens with this? All of these genetics mixed up. Well, there has to be a genetic mutation from all of that. If what I'm saying is true, if these animal genetics are being ran in through humans, then there's a genetic mutation. Okay, now I want to show you a genetic mutation in the clothing, just like Leonardo da Vinci did at the Last Supper. The clothing, you see the tethered clothing or the torn clothing. In the clothing, people, it showed. Now I highlighted this. I put these faces there in this already. You see genetic mutations of these creatures. It lets you know there's a nostril there, there's a mouth. It lets you know there's an eye here. Alright? Now, you see all of these creatures, their likenesses created this genetically in this guy right here. Then on top of it, and the reason why it looks so crazy is because on top of there's another face. It shows you almost like a mutation of a human like figure right up in there. But what happens is if you back off of it, it creates a larger image of a woman facing this way. So when you Google this image, look right here in the clothing, and you should see at least 3 faces. One more looking like almost like the ox. All of these creatures tied together, which is right here. Then on the ox's head, which is very consistent, you'll see the likeness of a man. You know what I mean? Right there. You'll see these creatures, then you'll see the likeness of a man. And then when you back all the way off the image, facing this direction over here, the entire image becomes that of a witch-like woman. Letting you know that this is a genetic mutation. And in the clothing, they use the clothing as the hides of the creatures that are being signified in this genetic cocktail, mutation cocktail. Okay, it lets you show you that these genetics, what kind of creatures, mutations that these creatures produce, and they're encrypted in likenesses. And my eyes separate them. They're multi-dimensional faces, all composited together, to let you know that there was a genetic mutation, and this was the result. And that's what that's all about right there. Now, what else do we have? Oh, and right here too, people. Look in this area right here where the ram is, down here between the man's legs. And it lets you see another genetic mutation right there that looks like a cocktail of a horse, the ox, and these creatures. The same thing here. It's the 2 bloodlines coming in from the side. I'm not going to tell you what they are now. You'll probably get it and figure it out. But anyway, here we go here. The building block. This guy is down here, got his face into the fire, letting you know that he was genetically bridged, sacrificed, almost at the altar, like you see with the mines and the end. Remember all those sacrifices they're talking about with the mines, and they're up on it. You see the fire up here, letting you know that this guy's genetically bridged sacrifice, death and resurrection. You see what I'm saying? Up here, you see these hand gestures. Noah's got the hand gestures going up, letting you know that the genetics of the blacks taken out, sent back up. You see, taken out, taken away. You know what I mean? That's what this is all about. You know what I mean? Think of him as a witch, and this is the cauldron. He's cooking up new genetics. And then here you have this guy showing you that these genetics, look, death, sacrifice, showing you that these genetics, look, taken out, came from this side, ran back in, and tied in the middle. Look, the guy there, and taken back up, and Noah showing you new genetics being created. Now check it out. Where did the new genetics go? They're showing you right here. From the founding stone. Right here. Here's the founding stone of genetics right here. Altered. Genetically altered now. Showing you all the genetics went in, redone. And look, here they're taken out right there. In the body of this person. Right there. Well, hold on, you can't even see. Oh, let me move over here. You can't even see that person. Alrighty, let me move this over. Let me show you something here. And when you get all of that stuff talking about the baptism of Christ and all of that, and these the baptism of Giovanni and all, this is what this is about, people. Showing you that there was a historical moment in time that these genetic bridgings happened. Look, Noah, biblical figure Noah, altered the building blocks of life with all of these genetic bridgings with animals, mankind, and look, new strand of genetics taken out in this individual right here. Bridged. And then off to the other side you have the two individuals that I just showed you, where the resulting genetics were sent out. Now there's more to it than just this here, people. And I just wanted to give you just that to let you know, to show you that I can walk into the Vatican or Sistine Chapel and I can read the entire ceiling based on it's these images are genetic blueprints to who we are and how they genetically manipulated us. Now, what's disturbing about all of this is that if they're genetically altering us, people, then what's being left in the carnage and in the wake of this? And this is why I'm telling you. I mean, like I said before, like when I was growing up, I was hear these stories that how they were believing that scientists and people were actually destroying the genes of genetics of mankind over, and I used to hear this from people that, I mean, weren't scientists or anything, of course, just rumors here and there every once in a while, how they believed that AIDS were created by that of people, and they were killing Africans over in Africa and all of that, and then later on scientists countered and said that it was because they were eating monkeys over there, and sleeping. I heard stories of them sleeping with monkeys and the whole nine. People, what's happening is that well, it could be a little bit of both, to be totally honest with you, but I know for a fact that genetic bridging is occurring, and in Renaissance artists and Salvador Dali's artwork, I've seen references where they are actually running these genetics back to Africa and doing genetic bridgings. Now there is occupation over there in Africa right now by a lot of folks. Some doing humanitarian work and all. I mean, you have to wonder. I mean, now everything has to be called into question if these genetic bridgings are being done through medicines that's being offered for free over there, humanitarian service, through different programs, as even here in the United States, these vaccination shots that we get for cold and flu, for so much as far as sickle cell anemia. I mean, you have to wonder, people, if all of these things that we are now getting, is it related to this, to what I'm finding? You know what I mean? This takes science, medically, and scientifically in a whole nother direction, people. This is a wake-up call to what is actually going on in our world today, and a lot of it is going on under the guise of religion. And just like I told you before, I'm doing a lot of this referencing Christianity and the Vatican and stuff, people, but it goes beyond that. This is global. This is everything in existence today, because this is what this is all about. Okay, genetic bridging and genetic manipulation. Now this is nothing what I can do. I mean, stuff that is supposedly not even supposed to be supposed to be being read. That of the Mayan, that of Cambodia, that in Egyptian. You have a lot of people distorting the truth and the facts. I'm telling you right now that if a person is talking about something and so much like what Eric Van Daniken and what Louis Picard, these people are distorting the truth. Zawi Hawass over in Egypt, he has no idea. He's clueless. This is all about genetic bridging, and I don't care what continent you're on or where you at with this stuff. It's all stating the same thing. So people, you're wrong. Zawi Hawass, Eric Van Daniken, Giorgio Discophagus, so all of these people are distorting the facts of what is actually happening. All of this is, people, it's all genetic bridging, and it's all saying the same thing, and it can all be read the same exact way. You know what I mean? So, I'll see you in my next video. You're watching my Geronification channel. My name is Gerone Wright. Okay? See the rest of my video, peoples, if you haven't. Thank you.